Hey, how's it going? This is Mr. Hernandez, and I'm going to be going over this IXL on graphing a square root function. So the main thing to understand here is that the number in front of the radical, in this case it's 5, is your slope. And slope is generally rise over run, so you can imagine that's going to be 5 over 1. Now notice that there's no other numbers being added or subtracted anywhere else in this equation. So that means that the vertex or starting point is going to be at the origin 0, 0. Now I'm going to go ahead and apply the slope, which is positive, so it's going to go up and right. So it'll go up 5 and right 1, and this would be the second point. So when you do this activity, you're just going to need to know this first point for the vertex, and you're basically just going to need to know one more point using the slope. So let's try it out and see. So the vertex is at 0. If we apply the slope, that'll give us the second point, and we have the graph here. And yeah, that's correct. Now, when you're dealing with numbers being added or subtracted, that's going to be changing the vertex. But let's just go with what's familiar and look at the number in front. In this case, the slope is 1 over 1. Now, this number here, notice that it's not under the square root symbol, so this is going to actually move it down 7, the vertex. So I'm going to go ahead and put a dot here for my vertex, and if I apply the slope of 1 over 1, that's going to be giving us another point there. And so let's see how that looks. Starting with the vertex at -7, and then the slope of 1 over 1. Okay, this is going to be the same thing, so I'm going to do this real quick. Okay, this is a good example. Now here I have a number that, well, first I'm going to identify the slope here, which is 1 over 1. Now notice that this -3 is under the square root symbol and next to the x, so that's going to move it in the x direction. But because our general equation of this square root function, it basically is y equals a, that's our slope, square root of x minus h plus k. So in this case, this number we had the last few problems moved it up or down. This number here under the square root where the x is moves it left and right. But because and of course this is the slope, right? But because this number here is minus h, it's the opposite of h. A negative means opposite in mathematics. So in this case, when we see x minus 3, we're actually moving it to the right 3, the vertex. So it's going to be right here, and then our slope is going to also be 1 over 1, and that will be this graph here.